Hey friends, Junior Staggs with Auctioneer University, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be one of the sponsors of a brand new show that's going to be produced by my friends at Brewer Street Mafia and Kel Media. It's called SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. It'll be recorded live every Sunday night at 7:30. So if you're into sports, I like Alabama football. Maybe you're a Tennessee fan. Maybe you're into one of those foreign sports like soccer or cricket or rugby. I'm sure he'll cover it all, from local sports to professional sports and everything in between, every Sunday night, 7:30. While you're at it, go over there and give him a like. And if you're thinking about becoming an auctioneer, check out our website, Auctioneer U. That's auctioneer, the letter U.com.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All-Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Hey, good evening and welcome to SportsCast. I'm your host, Jeremy Buckelew, here with you from the Brewer Street Mafia studios again. I got a great show for you this evening. Things a little different tonight. I'll explain that here in just a minute, but wanted to first say thank you to our sponsors for once again bringing you another episode of SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Thanks to Junior Staggs and AuctioneerU.com. I say it every week. I mean it every week. If there's ever had the ambition of wanting to learn how to be an auctioneer, Junior Staggs is the best in the business. No one better to learn from. And listen, Junior's a man of many talents. I hope to have him on the show here pretty soon to talk about all those talents. But as an auctioneer, he's a singer-songwriter, he's a published author, he's a softball coach, and just all-around great guy. And so, again, auctioneeru.com, we appreciate their sponsorship. Also want to say thanks to Taters and them being a sponsor of the show. Go out there at Tater's, get you some fried pickles, are my favorite on the menu, with a smash burger and some French fries or onion rings, whatever hits your fancy out there. But remember, Tater's is not just a restaurant. If you've got a motorcycle, they've also got a shop there. You can take your bike to and have it worked on, and then go in there while they're working on your bike, get you something to eat, and just hang out and enjoy the food and the fellowship out there at Tater's on the Lake Highway. We appreciate them. And then also to Jeff Archie and All-Star Fence here in town. If you have any fencing needs, then make sure you give them a call, and they can get you set up with whatever you're looking for, not just fencing, but fencing, dog kennels, runs, whatever you need. They can help take care of you there at All-Star Fence. And so, again, doing things a little different this week with it being Memorial Day weekend. We actually pre-recorded a show because the guy that I've got on here tonight was looking forward to having on, but he's got to get up north because he's got some responsibilities up there coming up pretty soon. And so glad to welcome to the show here this evening the one and only Mr. Caden Marshall.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. How's life treating you?
Oh, it's going good.
Going real good, I guess,
real
right?
Good. Yeah, real good.
So, as you said, pre-recorded this show because you've got to get up to Ohio.
Yes,
we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But, Caden, I've known you for a little while. You and Kenna were in the same grade and came up together. And just talk about you grew up here in Henry County playing sports. Yes. And like what got you into the athlete that you are today? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, like you said, I'm born and raised here, but I'll say like what got me into playing sports would be like watching it, and then like my dad, and then like all of my older cousins and stuff like that. But I started playing like sports when I was like 4 years old. But my first like sport was soccer, And
I can't picture Caden Marshall out there on the soccer field.
I can't even play soccer. So I played that for like 1 year. But then I got into like basketball, obviously flag football, and then I started playing basketball heavily, like, for travel ball teams, for like the Paris Patriots and all kinds of stuff like that. And then that was my first love, basketball was. So I played basketball, all my life, from all the way up, to my senior year. And then obviously, football from, flag football to, starting to Pop Warner, then going to middle school, then going to the high school, and then now college.
Okay. I forgot to ask you, we start every show with the best thing you've seen this week. Again, a pre-recorded show, so some things may have happened from the time that we actually air this until whatever. But this week, what's been the best thing you've seen this week?
Best thing I've seen this week, I've been watching was the NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs. That's probably the best thing I've seen this week.
So which series are you invested in right now?
Well, the OKC and the Nuggets going to Game 7. That's the series I'm most invested in right now. I need OKC to win.
You're a young guy. Are you a LeBron or Jordan?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Jordan is the GOAT.
That is the only correct answer.
I'm telling you, that's the only correct answer.
That is the only correct answer. Anybody else who says otherwise.
All my friends gonna probably tell me like it's LeBron, but I still say Jordan.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's Jordan. He came first, and he changed the game. So Jordan's most definitely the GOAT to me.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I knew when I'd like Caden knows sports. Caden knows what he's doing. I got to get him on, and that just solidifies.
LeBron's two though.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. But man, anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole any longer. We have to. So, best thing I've seen. I have gotten into hockey here lately. My wife would tell you that I'll watch anything and everything that's on TV, but here lately I've gotten into the hockey series, and I've been watching a lot of their playoffs, and they've had some good games, and so just overall, I guess my answer would be just some of the hockey games I've seen this week, which I've enjoyed. But,
they in the playoffs right now too, ain't
they? Are. Yep. They are. I'm trying to watch the Dallas Stars. I don't know why, but I watched Dallas. I watched the Hurricanes beat the Washington Capitals the other night, and so I've never been a big hockey fan, but I don't know why. Just all of a sudden,
I definitely want to go to a game though.
We'll get into that here in a minute, but so you've been in Nashville for a little while. You hadn't made it to a Predators game yet?
No, I haven't.
I hear that's like the place to be when they have a game going on.
But I haven't. I told myself I was going to go, but now, with things changing, I don't even know if I'll be able to go now.
They have hockey up north, though.
Yeah, they do, for sure. The college has the hockey team.
Oh, so there you go. You can go see one there. You had mentioned, and we talked about it before we came on the air a little bit, but you had mentioned that, your dad was kind of instrumental in getting you into sports and stuff.
Of course.
I remember your dad being just one of the best athletes that he was on that per-year basketball team with Jeremy Latimer that won two, or of course they won a lot, but the games that I always think of are those championship games where your dad hit the winning shots, and then he went on to play for Henry County. But y'all ever get out in the yard still and just kind of go at it? And
nah, he can't mess with me no more.
I was going to ask. Yeah. So, is that even a debate as far as the better athlete now? Is it you or your dad?
He claims that he would be the better athlete if he would have took things a little more serious. But no, he is not the better athlete, and he cannot mess with me no more. He still think he could beat me in one-on-one in basketball. He still think he shoot better than me. No, he doesn't. But we used to go to the yard a lot. Like, we would go out there and just throw football, shoot basketball. Sure. But it's real competitive though. Like, it'd be real competitive.
I imagine. I mean, because like I said, he was just, and like I said, the games that come to mind are it's always, I think it was always Patriot and Grove. And here soon, I want to have a show where we talk about those old school rivalries and stuff. But it was always Patriot and Grove, and both years, his 7th grade year and his 8th grade year, he hit game-winning shots. Yep. Did he ever talk about that? Did he kind of relive those glory days a little bit?
All the time. Especially when I was younger, he would definitely bring it up. But, I remember the stories like the back of my head. Yeah. Like, he would tell me, boom, he came down, he dribbling, then he go down. It's like, I don't know how many seconds on the shot clock, But the first one he told me about was the half-court shot. He shot the half-court, made that shot, and then he said the very next year he go down. He had a step-back three-pointer.
Corner
Boom,
three.
Hit that right there, and I was like, okay, you little hooper then.
You talk about because those games were always played in Gamlin Gymnasium, the championship games.
Yeah.
And you talk about Gamlin Gymnasium exploding. I don't know if it's been that loud since. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectful to Henry County fans or anything, but those games used to be just such a big deal, you know. And when we were growing up, like everybody in Henry County was at Gamlin Gymnasium during the county-wide tournament, was what it was called back then. And so, your dad and Jeremy Latimer were unstoppable, and those were some good teams. Of course, J.R. Latimer coached teams were always really good teams, but I just wondered if he ever still talked about that, or if he challenged you with, hey, here's what I did back in my day. What are you doing in your day? Kind of.
Oh yeah, he most definitely did. But shoot, all the stories he told me and the way he pushed me, got me to where I am today.
Sure.
So all love to him.
Sure.
Shout out to him for real.
So, grew up playing rec league to start until you get, because the way it works, when you get to Inman is when you play your first kind of organized ball. But played rec league, flag football, basketball, caps, and all that. But then get to Inman, play basketball, and do really well there. Play football, but said you were hurt your 7th grade year, so that kind of
my 7th grade year in the jamboree game. Actually, I was running, then I had tried to reach for the end zone, and now fell on my collarbone. Boom, split it in half.
Yeah.
So I had to have surgery on that, and I was out for the whole 7th grade year.
Okay. But then came back your 8th grade year, strong.
Came back that's when I was me and my dad really got in the lab, lifting weights, doing field work, everything. And then my 8th grade year, like you said, came back strong and had a really good year.
We were talking off before we came on again, and you had kind of mentioned that 7th to 8th grade year is when you started, because I had asked you when did you make the transition from, because your dad was a basketball player, I remember, and even in the high school he played basketball. I think you said he played football his junior and senior year.
He started playing football his junior year, then his senior year.
But he was always just a high school basketball
he was cold.
phenomenon.
He was cold.
And so, when did you make the transition from, okay, I want to do basketball and focus on that, because obviously you're really good at that too, to football is going to be my main sport? So
that transition became probably going into my 8th grade year, when me and my dad really after that injury, that's when we really sat down and we was all right, we got to do something. So we started lifting those weights. We started going to the field throwing. We started doing feed work drills, everything like that. And that's when I was okay, I fell in love with the grind. So then 8th grade year, I had a really good year. And then ever since then, I just loved it from there on out.
Right.
Just loved it. I mean, my love for basketball is still there.
Sure.
But just football, it just grew way beyond basketball. It just happened in a year, just like that. It just clicked.
Wait, and you said something interesting. You said your love for the grind. And, I mean, that's what it takes to get to the level where you're at now, right? You have to love the hard days of that hard work that you're putting in just as much as you love the glory that comes from being on the field when you make a big play.
Even when you wake up some days, you don't want to do it. You don't want to go work out, nothing like that. Those are the days where you really need to. Yeah. Because that's when you really pass everybody else's, working just as hard as you.
Sure.
So that's my mentality with it.
You said your mom wasn't. She didn't play.
She didn't play any sports, and she wanted me to play basketball. Because of football. Too physical. All the injuries that can come with it. But she's learning this. She loves what I'm doing. So I know she's very proud of me.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Mom, of course, too. So.
Yeah, I never got to play football for that reason. My dad played football in high school, and just tore up his knees and stuff like that because of it. And so they decided, no, you're not playing football. So I didn't play basketball in high school either, but basketball was my main sport, and baseball really. But I never got the chance to play football. I've always wanted to. But go back, you've had some really good coaches too that have brought you along the way. Talk about those guys and how they help mold you into the person you are today, the athlete you are today. And
well, my coaches all throughout when I was younger, Pop Warner, Flag was my dad. My dad. Then you had Brian Donaldson, Rodney Littleton, Doc McDonald, and then, like all them guys. So being around all them, it's all like, family.
Right.
They all taught us discipline at a young age.
So you were a Dolphin.
I was a Dolphin for sure.
Dolphin.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Dolphin for life. Yeah.
See, we were
Dolphin.
Bears, and so we're not supposed to be friends, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Dolphin for sure, though. But, being around them, it all brought, it just discipline, responsibility, respect. And then going to Coach Markham, which I think he's probably the best coach in Paris, Tennessee.
Well, his record speaks for itself.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know how many championships he got.
Right.
He probably got double digits for sure.
We just look at all the banners hanging in the
exactly
gym
banners and all the trophies and
Yeah.
everything. So Coach Markham, he was a very good coach. He really, developed me into that player that I wanted to be in middle school. Like he got that it factor out of me.
Sure.
He did. So being with him and then going to, my freshman year, I actually had Coach Summers. And I actually trained with Coach Summers going into my 9th grade year. Me and him, we trained together. We was out there, he played quarterback in high school.
Uh-huh.
So me and him trained together for, about twice a week for, a few weeks. He was there for me, of course.
Sure.
He got me to throwing the ball right how I needed to. And then, obviously, Coach Counts. Coach Counts and Coach Counts. He molded me into, the player and, a young man I needed to be before, going to college.
Right.
Him and my dad for sure, so.
But also some great basketball coaches as well.
Basketball coaches, yes. Coach Stutzman and Coach I had Coach Stutzman and Coach Height my 7th, 8th grade year.
Right.
Yeah, they were Coach Height was like one of the, coaches that were like play with us too. So, it was very competitive,
Sure.
and then Coach Stutz, that was actually, I want to say, Coach Stutz was at like my second, I had him like my 7th grade year and 8th grade year. Yeah, I did. I did have him then. But Coach Stutz, he was a really good coach. Like, he was also one of them coaches that, like, got everything out of you.
Mm-hmm.
He would make sure, playing at your best. He would design, things where you can play at your best. Everybody had different, roles. So he would make it where everybody played together.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then Coach Gridiron and Coach Miller in high school, she spoke for herself.
Right.
We had some really good teams.
Yeah. You talked about y'all won and talk about Coach Markham and his wins and stuff. Y'all were the area champs your 7th grade year, and then made it back to the area championship your 8th grade year.
Yeah, we won the 7th grade year, and then my 8th grade year, we came up short by like a touchdown, like 6 points.
Yeah, I remember that game in
touchdown.
Memphis at Crump Stadium.
Yep.
We were there because, like I said, you and Ken are in class together, and so her 8th grade year at Emmons, she made sure she wanted to go.
Yeah, we was actually down 22-0 going to the
remember.
fourth quarter. We was actually down like a lot, and then the fourth quarter, we just, I ain't gonna lie, I talked to, like, my dad was on the sideline. He was like, "You're not quitting this game."
Yeah.
He said, "You're not quitting this game." So I went out there. I was like, "Sure, I'm not gonna quit." I just kept on playing and playing and playing. And I think if we would have had at least 4 minutes left, we would have won that game.
Because y'all scored right at the end.
We scored
and just didn't get the onside kick. If I remember.
We scored before that with like 3 minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes left. Boom. We scored twice. I remember we scored twice, and then it was like 22 to like 16, something like that. Then we kicked the onside kick and we didn't get it back, and then that's when it was wraps.
They nailed out the game, and that was it. So that's Inman, and then you move on to the high school, and I think we actually have a graphic. Your senior year at the high school, starting quarterback, you have at least one record, right? What is it? The most passing yards in a single game with was it 261? Is that what that says?
Yeah,
I
broke another record that game too.
Which one was that?
That was the Ridgeway game when I threw for 261. But that same game, I broke the single season passing touchdown record.
Okay.
That same game, I had 19 at that game. But then for the regular season, I finished with 21 passing touchdowns in a single season.
Yeah.
So I had that, and then I also had shout out to Javion. We had the longest pass ever in Henry County history. I want to say like 87 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
So I had broke 3. Yeah, I broke three records in like the span of like 2 games.
Y'all were, I don't remember what y'all's overall record was for your career. I just remember like those were some really good teams.
Yeah,
even from
sure.
your freshman up to your senior year.
I don't think I lost 10 games.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
I don't think I lost
because
10
I know a couple of those seasons we were like 13-2, and we had that one really bad season
But we only lost like 4 games. I think.
4 games, and
so 4.
It says a lot about Henry County football when a 4-game loss season.
2. I think I may lost like 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
I don't think I lost 10 games though.
I know you're right because we were doing stats at that time for the team, and so. But when you think back of those years of playing, is there one play that stands out in your mind from your high school career?
Oh, 100%. The round 2 game against Hendersonville. We're down by 3, 14 seconds left on the clock. I roll out to the left. It's 11-1. I roll out to the left. I see Jevion get matched up with a linebacker. And I was like, oh, I'm in my head. I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, I'm finna just throw it up. He finna go get it. He go grab it and go get it, and then that was history right there. We won the game.
Believe it, that's the same play that I think of when I think of Caden Marshall.
No.
It's the exact same play. I mean, it was amazing. It was the closest. Like when he caught that ball, like I jumped up, and no joke, I nearly passed out.
Yeah,
because there was so much excitement.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and so, but then of course later it ran into Southwind. Is that right?
Yeah, ran into Southwind next week.
In the
but
third week.
I think we should beat them. We just had some things happen,
Yeah.
injuries and stuff like that.
Sure.
So.
That's how football goes. So,
But senior year was a whole movie though. There was way more moments too, like the beach game. The beach game with the overtime
2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean everything. Like it was a whole movie. The Riverdale game.
Game
21-20.
No one in the state probably thought you were going to win that ball game.
Exactly. And then, I said the beach game. We ain't beat beach since like 5 years.
Yeah.
So beating them my senior year, that felt real good too. And then region champs, of course, we was 9-1 in the regular season. 9-1.
When you think back on your time at Henry County, with all the athletics, with your basketball career and your football career, other than that play, what else stands out to you? Is it the people you got to enjoy it with, or is it the play on the court?
People for sure. The relationships you make in high school would be the best moments. It was the best moments of my life.
Okay.
The relationships I made, I'm still friends with them. Mostly all of them. So I say that's probably the best thing that otherwise than football, basketball, all that stuff would be like the friendships and relationships that I made.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So as you were finishing up your high school career for Henry County, and again, I think you'll go down as one of the best athletes, just overall athletes to come through our programs. Because, like I said, you dominated in football for years. Because even though you played receiver,
I played
while Ryan was quarterback, right?
Well, my sophomore year, I played receiver for a few games. Then I got moved to running back.
Okay.
I played running back way more than I did receiver. I played running back. Like my sophomore year, I played running back, receiver, wildcat quarterback, safety, and outside linebacker all in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Then my junior year, that's when we stuck to running back and outside linebacker.
Okay.
And then, some QB, like, running the ball and stuff like that. And then my senior year is when I transformed to straight QB.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, though, because I think that speaks to just your level of talent that you were the quarterback. And I think every now and then they would throw you out there on defense. Like if we needed a for sure stop here, Caden get out there and be an extra. Sure. But you got recruited as a linebacker right?
Yeah. So my junior year was really when I blew. My junior year, I had I was like, I'm gonna say second or first on the team in tackles, and then I had 3 picks, had a lot of PBUs, all kind. It was it was real good. I mean, I thought it was okay, like a pretty good season. I was all region and stuff like that, but I did not know that I was gonna blow the way I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to a football camp at Vanderbilt MTSU.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, no, I went to my first camp. It was at Memphis. It was all kinds of other schools there. And I got my first offer. They was watching my tape. They said, stop the camp. They said, stop the camp. You go home. I'm like, what I do wrong?
Right.
They said, you going to go home. He brought me over there. He was like, we want to give you your first offer.
Wow.
They was watching my tape while I was going through all the drills. So he said, you going out. He made me in camp early. I went home. And that was actually that was a moment for me that changed my life for real, because that same day I didn't get to go to my uncle's funeral. It was his funeral that day, but my dad told me, he was like, your uncle wants you to go to this camp. And then that was a blessing right there,
Yeah.
my first offer. And then they just started rolling.
I don't think a lot of people understand that's really where, obviously, the 15 or 10 to 15 games that you're guaranteed 10 games. Hopefully, you get to play 15. Most of the years, you got to play 13 to 14.
Mm-hmm.
But those offers come from the camps that you attend. So how many weekends were you going to camp, and how many camps did you go to?
It was weekdays and weekends.
Okay.
But I say you gotta plan it. You gotta plan it out though. You gotta have everything planned out, the dates and everything. Because I wasn't going to back-to-back camps.
Okay.
That's not. I feel like that wasn't really good for my body because camps are long. They're long.
Just a grueling day.
Yeah, it's long. It's like you're going to be there for a good 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
It's long for sure, but the one-on-ones and the 40-yard dash is where you get your money. That's where you get paid at. It's like I said, the MTSU camp, I went 15 for 16 in my one-on-ones. So nobody caught a ball on me besides one person.
Okay.
But I don't count it because he ran like a triple move on me. Like, it was unrealistic.
They're not going to do that in the game.
Yeah, they're not going to do that in the game. So, and then the Vanderbilt camp, they made me go against a tight end that was committed there.
Okay.
He was like a 3 or 4 star tight end. I locked him up every single time. And then the coach, he pulled me and my dad to the side, and then he told me he was like, your son, like, I want to give him a scholarship, all kinds of stuff like that. But it was a waiting game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up committing, to Tennessee State later on in that year. And then that's when that happened.
How many offers you end up with?
So I ended up with 12 or 13. I don't want to say it was 11 or 12.
Okay.
11 or 12, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what blew my mind as far as like the college game when I started learning more about it, because I didn't know anything about these camps until I saw like TJ would post, because I'm friends with him on Facebook and stuff. He'd post that he and Ryan would go to a camp, and I saw where Luke was going to camps and all that, and realized that like he was taking, I think, Jawan and Zamarion and some of those kids to those camps with Ryan and stuff.
We all played 7-on-7 too.
Yeah.
TJ, he actually one who introduced me to 7-on-7.
Okay.
When I was playing, I would say he was older than me, so I was playing 15U, they was playing 18U.
Yeah.
So that's actually when I changed to linebacker.
Okay.
My 7-on-7 coach, he said, I'm going to put you here. I had like 3 interceptions. Like I was like gaming at linebacker. And then that's when, going into my sophomore year, that's when they was like, okay, we're going to put you here. And then the rest is history.
Sure. What would you rather play? What's your favorite position?
My favorite position? Yeah. I'll probably say linebacker.
You like it better?
Yeah, it's I'm close to the ball, and like it's just see ball, go get ball.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of pressure. Now QB my senior year, that was fun. Having the ball in my hands, that was fun. But watching it in college and seeing the preparation and everything you got to do for it, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Well, it's just when you're a playmaker, you look for opportunities to make plays.
Exactly.
And with quarterback and linebacker, I guess you have those opportunities because linebackers kind of, I don't want to say get all the spotlight in the game, but some of the bigger names that you think of are linebackers. You think of Patrick Willis, Lawrence Taylor,
exactly,
guys like that. Those middle linebackers, Ray Lewis. So you definitely have your moment. So getting to be in there and carry on. So we're going to go ahead and take our first break here. Talk with Caden Marshall, and when we come back, going to get into his college career and where he's been and where he's headed. But going to hear from our sponsors here just for a second, and we'll be back after this break.
Hey friends, Junior Staggs with Auctioneer University, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be one of the sponsors of a brand new show that's going to be produced by my friends at Brewer Street Mafia and Kel Media. It's called SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. It'll be recorded live every Sunday night at 7:30. So if you're into sports, I like Alabama football. Maybe you're a Tennessee fan. Maybe you're into one of those foreign sports like soccer or cricket or rugby. I'm sure he'll cover it all, from local sports to professional sports and everything in between, every Sunday night, 7:30. While you're at it, go over there and give him a like. And if you're thinking about becoming an auctioneer, check out our website, Auctioneer U. That's auctioneer, the letter U.com.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter, and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All-Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Back here at the Brewer Street Mafia Studios with Caden Marshall. I do want to take the time to remind you that, we got some other shows brought to you by Kill Media. Don't forget to check in on the Mike Weatherford Show. Don't forget myparistv.com, where you can check out all the Kill Media productions there, and appreciate everything they do for us here at SportsCast. And again, helping bring you the episodes every week. And wouldn't be able to do it without Kevin and that crew, and to Mike for letting us use the Brewer Street Mafia Studios here every Sunday night and bring you a show where we can just sit down and discuss sports. That's what we're doing today with Caden Marshall before he heads up to Bowling Green, Ohio. I'll always almost say Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought.
Yeah, but so Caden, we talked about your Henry County career. You finish football, finish basketball, and then make the commitment and commit to Tennessee State to play football for Coach Eddie George.
Yes, sir.
There we have your actual National Signing Day post that I think Tennessee State probably did that. But go and play linebacker for Coach Eddie George there at Tennessee State. What's he like on just a normal day? What's Coach George like as far as
on a normal day? No day's normal for him. Okay. But he's a good guy. Like, he's a good coach too. Actually, my first year, I was kind of nervous being around him, a little bit. Like, I had dinner with him one time, he just put me on the spot, asking me like all kinds of questions. He was like, "What's your dreams and goals?" He was like, "What do you want to be in life?" Like, he was asking me questions like that.
Those are pretty big questions coming from Eddie George.
Exactly.
Like.
Like he's an NFL star. You don't get to do that. Like, a lot of people do not get to do that in their life. You know, just have dinner with a NFL legend, NFL star, or have them be their coach.
Was that here or was that in Nashville?
So that was in Nashville.
Okay.
That was on my official visit up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's a real good guy though. He loves loves fans, loves the people. So yeah, I'm very thankful to have him as a coach.
Yeah. So you get to Nashville. How's Nashville treat you? Did you like it over there?
Yeah, I did. It's obviously coming from, a smaller city to a bigger city. But yeah, I love Nashville though.
Okay.
I did, and I also have family that was right up the road in Murfreesboro.
That's nice.
Yeah, my older cousin. So it was no problem,
Yeah.
And then, obviously 2 hours away, ain't no little drive.
Right.
So yeah. Nashville was very good to me though. It was.
So what I think I know the answer to this question, but I've never really discussed it on the show yet with anybody. What was the biggest, your biggest eye-opening moment difference from the college game to the high school game? That jump from going and playing high school ball to playing college ball. What was the first thing you noticed of, this is different?
Oh, it's more mental for sure.
Okay.
Like, athleticism can get you by a little bit in high school. Just a little bit. In college, no. Everybody's good in college.
Yes.
It's a mental game. You have to, there's no false steps, none of that. You have to know what you're doing, 100% of the time. Like, you have to know every play. You have to know all your reads. You have to know all the keys. So, that, with coming in as a freshman, learning a whole new system.
Right.
That was my biggest problem. That was my biggest problem for sure. And that was that's when I was like, okay, this game is different.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to really study. Like, it's homework. Like, that's what football is. It's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job for real.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest thing.
I'd always heard too that, when jumping from middle school to high school and then from high school to college, you learn these things that, like you said, when you get to the college level, everybody's good. Mm-hmm. Like, there are no bad players in college. But what about the speed of the game? Did you notice any difference in how fast the game moved, how fast the running backs were compared to guys you had gone up against in high school, or was it pretty on par for what you were expecting?
It's kind of what I expected, actually.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good thing, but it's not always like that, though.
Yeah.
So for all the young athletes, it's not always like that. But I'd probably say, like, when I got there, it's what I expected. Like, I mean, I trained like a lot, like
Right.
my people had told me too, like the speed of the game, everything's gonna change.
Well, and two, like I would guess and assume that going to these camps that you go to, you see a lot of those athletes anyway.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't know how to say this without being ugly about it, but there's no scrubs going to these camps
Well,
and
actually,
competing.
I take that back. The speed of the game did change, mentally wise.
Yeah.
Physically wise, nah, not so much. But mental though, the speed of the game did change.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, like you said, the camps though, you seeing people like that, being around people like that, it's good to do that.
Right.
Because you're gonna see that in college. So
Yeah. So talk about your first season there, how it went, and what you
season-
learned about yourself while there.
My first season it obviously didn't go how I wanted it to go. I only got to play 2 games. I had broke my foot and was out for the whole season. So that really, I mean, in college though, you gotta wait your time.
Sure.
Your time always gonna come, but everybody got different timing. With me though, I think I was gonna see the field from what my coach had told me, from what the way I was playing in fall camp and all that. He was like, "You gonna be on this field." So I was gonna be on the field, but my second game, third quarter, we playing North Dakota State. I'm going down on the kickoff. We open it's a kickoff. I'm going down. Boom! I had did something. I had hyperextended my knee, and then I had landed on my foot and it turned obviously, and then plays over. I'm jogging off. I feel fine. I sit down.
That adrenaline rush had you going, I guess.
I sit down for a minute. I stand up. I couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
And then they thought it was bruised the whole time, but I got MRIs and X-rays, and it was broke.
Yeah.
So I was out for the whole season.
Not how you want to end your first season.
Oh no, not how it went in my first year, but luckily for a red shirt. So I still got 4 more years left.
So and two, like I said, you probably learned a lot about yourself just in the summer program of the work that it takes to play at that level.
Exactly.
The workouts are different, I'm sure,
They
more
are,
intense
yes.
and
Definitely the freshman 15 is real. That's real. Yeah.
Talk about, because I know a little bit about some of this stuff from some inside information, but talk about the nutrition programs that they had for you, and were you kind of on your own, or was it just
at Tennessee State? It was kind of more of on my own.
Okay.
With the new school, I'm finna have my own type of what they gonna put me on.
Yeah.
So there at TSU, my main thing was I needed to eat though, because they wanted me to gain more weight. So I needed to eat. So they was really telling me whatever you eat extra of it.
Is that hard to do?
Yes, it is. You have to get used to it for sure. You have to get used to it. But it wasn't a big problem though. But that was probably one of the hardest things too, having to adjust, from that, them wanting you to gain weight. And you feel good where you at when you come in. And then when they tell you that, it's like, dang, okay, I gotta do this. So I had to eat a lot. But like you said, the nutrition, they weren't really telling me what to eat.
Yeah.
So I really was just eating, anything really. But I shouldn't have did that. But no, there's nothing up there at Bowling Green though. They had their own meals for us to eat.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a lot better.
What was your favorite thing about Nashville?
Favorite thing
being
about
there?
Nashville?
Just
the city.
see, I tell
Yeah.
people Nashville is my favorite city in the whole
the
world.
city.
Nashville and New Orleans. I could go visit Nashville and New Orleans every day
city.
and be happy.
And then our school is right beside Vanderbilt. It's right beside Fisk. It's beside Belmont. Everything's in the center too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Topgolf right down there, and then everything is right beside each other. And then so I mean, there's so much to do down there. So much to do. And then Broadway, obviously.
Of course.
So
Of course.
yeah.
And then y'all actually played in Titan Stadium, right?
Yeah.
And so that had to be a
Nissan.
neat Nissan Stadium, but that had to be an experience, because not everybody. I mean, there's few people that ever get to step foot on an NFL field, and y'all are playing there that's your home games.
That was the home games, yes. But it's the first game of the season, the homecoming game, and the championship game we had.
Yeah.
Man, it's tailgating, the fans. It was nothing I have seen before.
Sure.
It was nothing I had seen. But those are probably the most fun. those were the most fun for sure. That championship game was probably one of the best. That was the best moment of my freshman year.
Okay.
Championship game, going back to the locker room. We had the cigars and stuff
Sure.
like that. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
You had talked about when you got hurt and stuff. Did you get to travel after you were injured? Did they let you travel still, or did you have to
the home games? Yes, not to the away games.
Because I was going to ask, like, what was the biggest stadium that
I had played in?
Yeah.
Probably North Dakota State.
Okay.
They have a dome.
They're the FCS. Is that right? North Dakota State's the FCS.
They just won a championship. They won a national
Yeah.
championship. They have a dome though. So there was like 20. It was like, I want to say 17 to 20,000 people there. But I kid you not, our sideline is right here. The fans may be at that door right there.
Really? That close?
They was talking so much trash to each other. They talking trash to us. It was very loud, and it was fun though. It was fun, but in a dome though, it made it even louder.
How hard is it to keep your composure when somebody over at the door is just jawing at you the whole game?
Oh, it's hard for sure. It's hard because you want to turn around and say something, but obviously you don't need to do that. Obviously,
Sure.
But no, it was fun. Then they had like fireworks on inside. I don't know how they had that, but it was very live.
Yeah.
But they said Montana was even louder.
Wow.
When we played Montana in the playoff game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I couldn't go to that game, and I was still hurt.
Okay.
So they played against. Unfortunately, that was the end of our season.
Right.
But they played there, and they said it was rocking like loud. Couldn't even hear a play call.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. Just being in those atmospheres is different, that like they tell you Henry County gets loud, but obviously nothing like North Dakota State gets loud with 20,000 people in there, right? So I'm glad you're getting to experience that stuff. So you finish.
This next season gonna be even. We play at Louisville, at Cincinnati, so we got some very, very big games. Then obviously our home game, they said they get packed out. We seat like 25 to 30,000.
Okay.
So those get packed out too. So that's gonna be fun.
So you finish up in Nashville, and then Coach George gets hired at Bowling Green.
He actually got hired the day we were supposed to come back from spring break. He got hired.
Okay.
So we was like, dang, what we gonna do?
All right. And so he goes up there, takes some folks with him when he goes, because that's how it works in college. Obviously, you take your staff. And so you enter the transfer portal and you commit to, you're going to go play for Coach George up in Bowling Green now. And we were talking before, too, that, Bowling Green's got a great history of college football. They have, Urban Meyer got his start there at Bowling Green, and they're a quality program. I saw, I was looking today, and some kid that played there just got drafted by Cleveland.
Yeah,
and
actually, he went round 3, and then like all the other guys that was like in there, they got signed.
Yeah,
they got UDFAs, so they got signed.
They're producing NFL talent up there.
They are.
So talk about like what you're excited about as far as being up there. And what you're looking forward to of being a Falcon in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Shoot, I'm excited for it all. I'm ready. I'm ready to get up there. I'm ready to start, meeting new teammates. I'm around my coaches that I had, and I'm just ready to play football. Really, it's been a minute since I put them pads back on. Sure. So I'm ready to play football.
And I guess you just miss it when.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. I miss it. I miss it for sure. Like I said, I love the grind.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing like playing in them games. So. And he brought me up there for a reason, so I got to go up there and, obviously prove myself. But I'm ready to get up there and just show him.
And you'll have the same coach that you had at Tennessee State,
coach.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That helps tremendously,
exactly.
I'm sure.
That's a big help. Like, I already know I'm not going to say, like, I know everything, but me coming up there knowing the system, I got a little head start.
Right.
So that's the positive thing.
How far away from home are you going to be?
Shoot, like 8 hours.
What did your mama think of that?
Oh, she wasn't happy with it at all. She wasn't happy with that at all. But when she went up there and visited, and she looked at it, she learned about it, she was okay with it. Sure. But she's still going to cry whenever we leave.
Oh, I'm sure.
She's going to get emotional.
Listen, I can tell you from firsthand experience that's probably going to be every time you ever come home and leave. Yeah, and
that's true.
If your mama, and I know she loves you very much, and it's just like Whitney is with the kids, when Cade comes home, when his car's pulling out of that driveway, she is a wreck. Yeah. And so I don't know that ever gets any better, but that's a good thing that your mama misses you and when you're not here. But yeah, the 8-hour trip, that's not terrible. I mean, it could be, it's not like you're playing at UCLA or UC.
So like, I'm gonna definitely drive up there when I'm going to take my car. But like, say like on the spring breaks, the little bye weeks and stuff we get, if I want to come home, I'll just fly. Yeah. I'm just gonna fly home because the flight's only an hour long. Sure. So, I'll drive down to Detroit because Detroit's an hour away from us. Okay. Drive down there, fly out of there, and then land in Nashville. Then, come back home for, a few days. Right. on the spring break, stuff like that. But now the winter break, that's probably, I have to drive back home.
So I don't know where Bowling Green, Ohio is. What you said you're pretty close to Detroit.
So I'm an hour from Detroit. You know where Toledo is?
Yeah.
That's 30 minutes from us.
Okay.
Toledo is the city by us.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it's like a Murray, Kentucky. That's what Bowling Green is.
Okay.
It's a college town for sure.
Okay.
Big college town, like 24,000 students and like 7,000 residents.
So you're going to have to adjust for the winters up there.
And, yeah, them winters.
Are you a winter or a summer kind of guy?
Oh, I'm a summer type of guy.
You better start adjusting to becoming a winter kind of guy.
I only like being cold when I'm asleep.
I understand.
But being cold outside, though, I don't. But I mean, they say when you get up there, you'll adjust to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have no choice.
You have to adjust.
They said them snowstorms, though, get real.
You're going to have to learn to drive better than the folks in Henry County drive when there's a dusting on the street, right?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so you're going up to Ohio. Talk about what you've been doing to stay in shape while you're down here and
waking up every morning, get my lift in. Well, about it, a couple hours. I'll go do like some field work. And
where do you go? Where do you lift? Where do you go do that?
So I work. I would train with Scotty.
Okay.
Yeah. So me and him, we lift. I train with him.
All right.
And then I do speed work in McKenzie with a dude named Corey.
Okay.
Superb training. And then I do like field work with Coach Flowers.
Yeah.
He played running back in the league.
Yeah.
So obviously, he knows what linebackers need to, stop those running backs
Sure.
that played in the league. So I train with him. And I also, to train with like some of my friends, that's like down here from college. Like Tyson, he plays linebacker too. So me and him will go out there and train.
Okay.
So yeah, that's really what I do. And then obviously, Bowling Green has sent me some things that I need to be doing, like conditioning wise and lifting wise. So I do that too. So I'm working out about 2 or 3 times a day.
It's like a job. I
Yeah,
mean, like I said,
job.
it's like a job. You got to get up and do the work. If just you've been back at the field house since you've been back.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, 100%.
Because I think it's important, like when you're at the level you are, I know, Luke and Ryan and those guys all did this too when they would come home. But those younger guys, look up to y'all who are playing at that next level. Like I said, whether it's you at Bowling Green or, Luke at Arkansas or even like Randall over at Bethel and those guys that, are playing at the next level. What kind of like message to them do y'all have? What kind of, see yourself as a role model for those kids coming up through that Patriot program?
Like you said, though, I just graduated last year.
Yeah.
So some of them are mostly still my friends. So
they don't see you like that yet?
Yeah, they all still my friends. But I talk to some of them, that want to, go play.
Yeah.
They want to be good. They want to go play in college. I'm just like, you just got to stay focused. You got to stay focused and you got to stay on that grind. You got to fall in love with it.
Sure.
Because that's what's going to get you there. Like, if you're not out there working out every day, you're not going to get there. Like, your mindset has to be there's somebody out there in Florida, California, Texas, somewhere that's always working harder than you.
Right.
So you gotta stay on top of your stuff.
Well, what do they say that like 3% of kids will play any level of college
football, and I think
after high
it's
school?
like 1.7 that go D1.
Right.
Yeah, I looked that up. Yeah, so it's very slim, very slim.
So you're in like the 1.7%.
Yeah, I'm in the 1.7 percentile
of nation.
Mm-hmm. And then the NFL is like 0.9.
Yeah.
0.9 to 1%. So it keeps on slimming down.
You were talking about that Bowling Green is in the MAC conference, and so who are some of y'all's opponents going to be? You said earlier you'll play at Cincinnati this year, which will be a fun game. At Louisville.
At Louisville.
But those aren't conference games.
Those aren't. Liberty come to us. That's not a conference game either. Those are like our first 3.
Okay.
And then our conference games will be like Toledo. That's the rivalry game. That's the I-75. That's the rivalry game.
Yep.
That's a big game.
Sure.
We'll play Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan. We'll play like Kent State, Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
Buffalo. So really all those schools up north up there,
sure.
That's what we'll be playing.
As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Ben Roethlisberger went to Miami of Ohio.
He did go to Miami of Ohio.
And so I'll be rooting for y'all during that. Yeah. But it's my Pittsburgh QB that we hadn't had a good one since he left. Anyway, we won't get into that. We'll keep talking about Bowling Green. But, yeah, so, I mean, that you've got the schedule coming out and y'all are getting ready. So when do you leave? I know we pre-recorded this show, as I said, because you're about to leave and head up that way for summer workouts. When will y'all start that?
So I leave next Saturday. So not this weekend, but next Saturday. So
it's like May 24th or so.
Yeah, May 24th,
Okay.
25th, one of them days. So whenever I leave that Monday, I'm starting.
Right at it.
I'm right at it. And I'll start a summer class and I'll start workouts. That's all I'll be able to be. That's all we'll be doing right now.
Okay.
You know, we can't put the pads back on until fall camp.
So I didn't know how that worked in college. If they would let y'all do
So
helmets or anything like that, or just no pads whatsoever. But
So like we'll do like Monday at Bowling Green. The schedule they sent me of what I have to do. Monday we're lifting, Tuesday's conditioning, Wednesday we're lifting, Thursday we're conditioning, Friday we're lifting. Saturday we'll have a PRP. That stands for player ran practice.
Okay.
So we'll go out there, you get in your individual groups, you go over, like some of the indie, and then you'll do like 7-on-7, 1-on-1s, maybe stuff like that.
Right.
So that's how the week really goes, and you're doing that until fall camp even starts. So we'll be doing that for like 12 weeks almost. Yeah. But obviously you'll get like that 4th of July break. You'll get that break, and then you get like one more before fall camp. There's like 4 days.
Sure.
And then when you get to fall camp,
it's on.
It's going.
It's go time.
It's going.
Because when you get to fall camp, I mean, season starts 1st of September. It'll be here before you know it.
Shoot, first game of the season August 30th.
Is it? Okay.
Which
So-
our first game of the season August 28th. We played on Thursday night.
All right.
We open college football.
There you go.
We open college football.
So, Caden going to be up in Bowling Green as a Falcon, and got plenty of opportunity because with ESPN now, the way that they run their system, does that make you nervous as far as like being on TV? And
Oh yeah, we on regular TV. So you turn the game on, you're gonna see us on regular TV. And no, I'm not nervous. It's just playing football.
just playing football.
Just playing football. Once you get in the game, you get that first little hit in, you're gonna forget about everything else. It's you in the game. You're gonna forget about the fans, all that. It's you in the game.
Well, before you leave, is there anything that you want to say to the fine folks of Henry County who have supported you along your journey? And I know you said your mom and dad and mentioned the coaches, but a lot of folks get you to where you are in life, right? And so here's your chance to look at that camera right there, I believe, and just to say a special word to any of those folks.
Got you. To the people of Henry County, to the community, I want to thank everybody that supported me, and I'm gonna keep on going, chasing my dreams to keep making the community proud.
All right. You're doing just that, man. You're doing a great job.
Yes, sir.
We are proud of you. I appreciate you coming on. When I reached out to you about being on, I was afraid we weren't going to be able to get you before you had to leave. And so I'm glad that we were able to make it work out and to get you in here. And so don't be a stranger. When you're back in town, holler at me. Let me know, and we'll get you in here and see what's going on and how life's treating you up in Ohio.
Sound good.
All right. Caden, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. Again, want to remind folks that this show's actually airing on Memorial Day weekend, so just wanted to take the time to thank Kevin and the crew again for taping it so that we can bring it to you. We're going to take a break for Memorial Day and enjoy some time off, but you'll be able to check out this show, obviously, as you watch it. And thanks to Caden for coming in, and thanks to our sponsors again, to auctioneeru.com and Junior Stags, and thanks to Tater, his restaurant and bike shop out there on the Lake Highway. Thank you, All Star Fence, for bringing another episode of SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew here from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios to you. We appreciate you checking in. Hope you will join us next week at 7:30. We'll be back live in the studios for another live shot of SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. But until then, take care of yourself and each other. We'll see you next week. Thank y'all.
Sir, thank you.